Today, I am reviewing the Lenovo Legion Tower 5 to 2026. If at any time you'd like to explore this product for yourself and grab it at a great price, be sure to check the links below the video. If you have been waiting for the right moment to upgrade your gaming rig without jumping into the deep end of a custom build, the Lenovo Legion Tower 5 2026 model is probably sitting at the top of your list right now. I've been putting this machine through its paces for the last 2 weeks, pushing it through heavy rendering tasks and long gaming sessions, and I have some very specific thoughts on whether this hardware is actually worth the premium price tag. You can check the links below the video if you want to see the current pricing or explore the technical specs in more detail, but let's talk about how this thing actually performs when the lights go down and the games start up. The first thing that hits you when you pull this out of the box is the build quality. Lenovo has moved away from that cheap, plastic-heavy aesthetic that plagued pre-built desktops for years. The Eclipse Black chassis feels solid, and the airflow design is surprisingly well thought out for a stock case. During my testing, I kept a close eye on the thermal performance, especially with the Ryzen 7 7800X 3D running under load. We all know that this chip is basically the gold standard for gaming right now, and Lenovo hasn't choked it off. The cooling solution is adequate, though if you plan on overclocking or doing extended 4K video editing, you might eventually want to look into swapping the stock cooler for something with a bit more headroom. Let's talk about the real star of the show, which is that AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT. I spent a lot of time testing this card across various titles, and it is a powerhouse. If you are playing at 1440p, this card is essentially overkill in the best way possible. I was hitting well over 140 frames per second on high-intensity titles, and the stability was impressive. The integration between the Ryzen processor and the Radeon graphics card feels snappy, and I didn't run into any of the driver headaches that people sometimes worry about with all AMD builds. It handles ray tracing better than I expected, though if you are a die-hard fan of NVIDIA-specific features, you might find yourself missing a few of those proprietary software tools. Still, for pure gaming performance and raw frame rates, the 9070 XT is a beast that justifies the cost of this tower. The 32 gigabytes of memory is the sweet spot for a machine like this in 2026. It is plenty for gaming, Discord, and a dozen browser tabs open in the background, and I never felt like I was hitting a bottleneck. However, if you're a professional creator or someone who does heavy virtual machine work, you might eventually want to bump that up. The 1 terabyte of storage is a bit of a disappointment, honestly. In an era where modern games are pushing 150 gigabytes or more, that drive fills up way faster than you think. You will likely be looking to add a secondary NVMe drive within your first few months of ownership, so keep that in mind when you're budgeting. If you want to see if there are any deals on storage upgrades or just want to check the current price of this specific build, the links below the video are the best place to start. Now, I need to be honest about the weaknesses. The power supply included in this unit is just enough to get the job done, but it doesn't leave a ton of room for future-proofing. If you decide in 2 or 3 years that you want to slap a massive, power-hungry flagship GPU into this thing, you're almost certainly going to have to swap out the power supply as well. It is a proprietary form factor in some areas, which makes upgrading a bit more of a headache than it would be with a custom build. Also, the bloatware situation is exactly what you expect from a pre-built. You're going to spend the first 30 minutes just uninstalling pre-installed security suites and promotional software that you really do not need. It is a minor annoyance, but for a machine at this price point, it feels a bit cheap. Who is this computer actually for? If you're someone who wants a plug-and-play experience and you don't want to spend an entire Saturday hunting for parts and troubleshooting potential compatibility issues, this is a fantastic choice. It looks professional enough to sit on a desk in an office, but it has the RGB flair to fit right into a gaming setup. It is perfect for the gamer who wants to hit that ultra-high refresh rate gaming experience without the stress of building from scratch. On the other hand, if you are a tinkerer who loves to optimize every single screw and cable, you will probably find the proprietary nature of the Lenovo case and motherboard to be limiting. You can build a cheaper PC with these exact specs if you shop around for deals, but you are paying for the convenience and the warranty support that Lenovo provides. The included 3 months of PC Game Pass is a nice touch, especially since it gives you a library of games to test the system immediately, but don't let that be the deciding factor in your purchase. The real value here is in the synergy between the 7800X 3D and the 9070 XT. The system is quiet, it is efficient, and it is reliable. I didn't experience any crashes or thermal throttling during my time with it, which is more than I can say for some other pre-builts I have tested in the past. It is a balanced machine that hits a high bar for performance, even if the storage capacity is a bit stingy for 2026. If you are on the fence, I would say this. If you can find this unit on sale, it is a no-brainer for a high-end gaming experience. If you are paying full MSRP, make sure you are comfortable with the fact that you are paying a premium for the Lenovo branding and the assembly. Either way, check out the links below the video to see the current price and availability. It is a solid, honest workhorse of a computer that will handle anything you throw at it for the next few years without needing a single upgrade. Just be prepared to add a second SSD sooner rather than later. Overall, the Legion Tower 5 is a strong contender that respects your time by working exactly as advertised the moment you plug it into the wall.